Now, let me tell you what is a procurement. Procurement is a business management function which involves science and art of the supply management. It manages the acquisition of external resources. When I say procurement, it means only the acquisition part. It manages the acquisition of external resources needed by an organization to accomplish its objectives efficiently, effectively, and economically. The basic objective of procurement is that I must procure a particular thing or an item or a good or services most efficiently, effectively, and economically. If I buy it efficiently, it meets the purpose for which I am making the procurement. And if it is effectively, that means it has a proper effect on my procurement activities as well as the part or the project for which the procurement is being made. Economically means it is good for all the organizations that whatever little they can save on procurement becomes economically for the organization and improves their bottom line of any company. Now it should bring transparency in process by giving equal opportunities to all the prospective bidders. Until I am really transparent in my activities of procurement and I give equal opportunities to all the prospective bidders, I cannot be economical, I cannot be transparent, and I cannot be efficient. Therefore, whenever I go for a procurement, my first job is that I find out who are the prospective bidders in the market and who are prepared to bid for it. Number one. Number two, I must also know that what I'm going to really buy and what is the procedure that I'm going to adopt. Transparency means that I give equal opportunity to all the people who want to bring the procurement into being, and also do not ignore those people who are placed very well in the market for the supply of the goods which I am going to buy. This will make my procurement transparent, it will make my procurement efficient, effective, and economical. Any organization, whosoever it is, if it wants to make a procurement as their activity, it has to be economical, but not by compromising on the quality of the product which I am going to buy, whether it is a product or services or whatever. Basically, there are different principles of procurement. There are 5 principles of procurement, which are also known as 5 R's, one of which is right quality. The other is right quantity, that's right price, right source, and right place and time. Now, what is the right quality? The right quality for a product or service is for which the biddings are asked for. If I'm asking X quality of an item in the bid document, that means I cannot evaluate the bid by asking for X plus 1 quality. So the right quality is the quality which meets my requirement, the quality for which the bids have been asked for, the quality which has been provided for in the bid document against which the various bidders shall bid and send their bids. So right quality is the one that meets my requirement, whatever quality of a product I need. The second is the right quantity. Right quantity would mean that my planning of procurement quantity wise has been judiciously done. I have neither underestimated nor overestimated the thing. If I underestimate a thing, I go frequently to the market to meet my requirement, which is an expensive proposition. And if my requirement is more than what I require, that means my quantity of the items which are lying unused shall be deteriorated, they may become obsolete, they may get damaged until they are taken care of. Therefore, the right quality is the one for which I have asked for the bids. Right quality is the one which is neither over quality nor under quality. For under quality, my items will be wasted. For over quality, I'll be paying more. Therefore, the right quality is the quality which exactly meets my requirement. and right quantity is the quantity which is enough which is optimized to meet the requirement of the organization. Then third is the right price. I get the right price only by going to the market to the prospective bidders who intend to buy, who intend to sell or who will submit their bids. And the best price may not be the right price. Right price is the price for the item which meets my quality, which meets my specification, which meets my requirement. And right source. I'll give a small example. Suppose I want to buy 10 or 20 insulators, 10 insulators 70 kN, and I go to the manufacturer to give me 10 insulators, he is going to charge you more. If I go to some local dealer who is also selling the insulators to meet my requirement, then it is better that I go to him, negotiate and buy them. For another example is, I want to buy 200 reams or I want to buy 20 reams of a newspaper, of a paper, A4 size paper, and I go to the manufacturer, plus he may not supply it because he does not supply this small quantity. And if I go to the dealer to buy 200 reams or 2,000 reams of paper, it may be beyond him. That means if I buy more quantity, I should go to the manufacturer. If I'm just wanting a small quantity, I should go to the local retailer. If I want the mid quantity, I may approach the wholesaler. So the right source is the one where I can get my quantity of the item duly priced rightly and to meet my requirement. Now, right place and time. I'll give a small example here. I assume that you're all electrical engineers and you're constructing a transmission line from A to B. The distance may be about 200 kilometers. One way is that I get all the quantity at A or at B. That means the intertransportation from A to midpoint where the erection is going on will also be taken care of by the owner. Therefore, the right place and time would be, suppose I am erecting the transmission line at more than one place, then I get the right quantity to be delivered at their points so that the inter-transportation of the material within the organization can be avoided and there's no damage. There is no damage instituted on the quantities which are lying either at A or at B. Therefore, the right place is the place where the quantity of the items are actually being used. And the right time is when I actually use them. For example, the erection of a transmission has started at A. By the time it reaches B, it may be 1 week, 10 days, or 15 days later. Therefore, the right time would be I get quantities to be delivered at the midpoints when the erection is going to commence or about to commence, so that I don't waste time either in intertransportation or the quantities lying at A may not get deteriorated to be used at point B, C, or D, or midpoints rather. So the basic principles of procurement are right quantity, right quality, right quantity, right price, right source, and right place and time. So any questions if you have on the basic principles of procurement or the definition of procurement, that's a business management function. Yes, please. Anybody? May I have some questions from you?
Sir, I
Sir,
have
right source.
Right
Hello.
source.
Yes, sir.
You want me to explain right source?
Yeah, repeat, sir.
Okay. Right source is the source where you meet your requirement more efficiently and more economically. I gave you a small example of A4 size printing paper. Suppose I want to buy 2 rims, I should go to the retailer and don't approach the manufacturer because the manufacturer may refuse to supply you 2 rims of paper and you waste your time. Alternatively, I want to buy 2000 reams of paper and I go to the retailer, he may not be able to supply. Therefore, this is the point when I go to the manufacturer and ask him to bid for 2000 reams of A4 size printing paper. Yes, please.
sir, please explain procurement. What is
Procurement.
Yes, meaning of procurement.
Procurement is, I told you here, procurement is a business management function. It involves science and art of supply management. Rather, procurement is the acquisition of external resources needed by an organization to accomplish its objective efficiently, effectively, and economically. Procurement may also be known by different name as purchase. It may also be
Oh,
known as, the requirement to be met with. It also means that whatever the company requires for the purpose of continuing their operation and they want to buy anything, that means the company wants to procure something for the purpose of meeting their requirement. And it should bring transparency in process by giving equal opportunity to all respect. Basically, procurement is the acquisition of external resources required by the organization. Suppose the resources are within the organization, they may not need for a procurement. Suppose any company who wants to buy consultancy services. The company who does not have a requisite consultant in the organization, they may not go for the procurement of the services. In case they don't have any consultant within the organization, then they might have to go and procure the services of a consultant needed for the organization. Yes, please.
yes, sir.
Anybody else? Am I able to answer your question?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Anybody else?
Procurement. What is the purpose to? Hello,
Yeah.
sir. Why the name is procurement? What reason behind it? Any
No,
reason behind it?
no, in many companies it is known as purchase department. In many organizations, this may be needed as services because this is services which is being provided to the organization. For example, in border security force, this may be required. This department may be known as services department. In many organizations, it may require as a procurement department. In some organizations, may be named as purchase department. In many organizations, may be known as supply chain management department. So the procurement is one name which is provided for. There is no specific reason why only procurement. Some of the they call it a purchase department. Okay. Okay.
Sir.
Then I move further. Now the objectives of procurement. As I mentioned earlier, the objectives of procurement economy, efficient and transparent. I mentioned that already, providing fair and equitable treatment to all the prospective bidders and ensure promotion of a competition in procurement. Gentlemen, one thing is there, until there's a competition in procurement, it will be favoring a particular person which the organization may not like, which the organization may not prefer, which the organization may dislike, that I am only promoting a particular agency and not giving the opportunity to all the bidders. Particularly out of the people who are working for the government or the private government or the semi-government, for them being transparent is all the more important because they are subject to audited accounts and vigilance may question you why the equal opportunity were not given to all the prospective bidders. Therefore, it is important that why I go for economy, efficiency and transparency, I have to provide fair and equitable treatment to all the prospective bidders and ensure the promotion of competition in procurement. Now, procurement is also guided by certain laws. You know, when I go for a procurement, there are three steps which are involved. One is the NIT. NIT means notice inviting tenders, which is a proposal by the buyer. That means if I want to buy anything, I'm the person who know that what I'm going to buy. So I go to the market with a proposal that I want to buy an item X. Then the people who are in the market to supply you to supply you that particular quantity of material, they submit their proposal, which is known as bid. The bid is the offer by the second party, that is seller. And when the first party accepts the bid of the second party, it becomes an agreement. Acceptance selection of an offer by the buyer after the acceptance of the offer, it becomes a legal promise. The moment I accept the offer, it becomes a legal promise. About three steps constitute an agreement. Any legal enforceable agreement is a contract covering rights and responsibilities of buyer and seller. Kindly note one thing here. There is a difference between agreement and a contract. Agreement is when I accept the proposal of the seller, it becomes an agreement. It becomes a legal promise, but it does not constitute a contract until it is legally enforceable. Legally enforceable means the provisions of this agreement can be challenged in the court of law. The moment the rights and the responsibilities of the buyer and seller are challengeable in the court of law, it does not remain an agreement. It doesn't become a contract. It remains an agreement. Therefore, to become an agreement a contract, the legal provision, the legality of enforceability should also appear.